What's poppin', y'all? What's good? It's your brother JudahSon with PIOT TV. Put it out there, TV. Of course, that's what that means. Appreciate y'all rocking with me. Just wanted to chop it up with y'all real quick, man, about a movie that I watched last night. A movie that I have been ignoring for quite some time. I always have a habit of coming across the movie and I put it in like my mental Rolodex. And I'll keep coming across that movie a billion times, whether it's on Netflix or Terrarium or Amazon Prime or something like that. And one of those movies that I happen to do this to, but is a movie called Joy Road. And the good thing about that, usually when I do that type of stuff to movies, the good thing about it is it's always a great movie. So the movie that I'm speaking about is a movie called Joy Road. I've been coming across it a billion times on Amazon, Netflix, Terrarium, and I just never watched it before. It has the one brother in there, I think his name is Wood Harrison. He played in Paid in Full. He played as AZ Faison and Paid in Full. That's who Wood Harrison is. He also played, and I believe he played in The Wire. I believe he played in that as well. So, but anyway, this movie is based out of a storyline out of Detroit. Shouts out to everybody in Detroit. I had the pleasure of living in Detroit. I had the displeasure of living in Detroit. Anybody that's from Detroit or that lives in Detroit, you know what I mean. So no disrespect. But so the movie was based out of Detroit, and anybody who knows anything about Detroit, you know that Joy Road is a street in Detroit. So it's rather catchy for the title. I don't want to give away all the movie. I actually have to go back and watch the movie. But basically what I got from the movie, because I got to go back and watch it again. This is crazy because I know this is what goes on in our communities. What I got from the movie, first of all, I had the brother Trick in there. Shout out to Trick, Detroit, well-known Detroit native. So he played a brother who was framed for murder, right? So this brother gets framed for a heinous crime of murder. And while he's going through the legal process, you know, he's sitting in the Wayne County jail, right? Look, I'm over here making sure I hit everything correct. He's sitting in the Wayne County jail waiting trial. There's all this political propaganda going on against him. You know, it's all this political propaganda that's going on against him, and it's starting to look kind of weird. Like, damn, why y'all going hard on the brother? Like, this is Detroit. This types of shit happens every day. You know what I mean? So Wood Harrison, I believe that's his name, he ends up taking on the brother's case. And the reason why he takes on the brother's case, Trick's case, is because Trick's girl is Wood Harrison's sister in the story. Should have went. So I just ran across my homie. So she's Wood Harrison's sister. So she was like, look, I need you to, you know, represent my man in the case because he has nothing to do with this. He's being framed, right? So I guess what's going on is the reason why all this political stuff is going on because the brother has been framed. But I guess what's going on is they're trying to get some type of law passed that's going to be beneficial to some major corporation, right? Now, what happens is the corporation ends up having some brothers from the hood commit these crimes and frame this brother and frame Trick for the crime. Now, this crime was fuel for the fire in order for them to be able to pass, you know, a certain law or some type of policy that they were trying to pass. I got to go back and watch it. But it was something that was going to be beneficial to the corporations, because they even had it to where it was a European man. And for those who are new to me, I just want to make it clear that I am a Hebrew Moor, so I do not use colorable terms as far as black, white, this and that. I call people what they are, give them respect to their foremothers and their forefathers. So it was a European man, so-called white man, right? He went in undercover, though he wasn't a police agent. He was an agent for the corporation, and he went in undercover to pay brothers in the hood for them to do certain things. So he was kind of like the conduit for the corporation, the Kilgore Corporation, in order to keep their hands clean. But what happened was, with this political campaign, the Kilgore Corporation also had another shell corporation or another company that was funding the campaign, that was like beating Trick up in the public eye, you know, in order to get certain policies or certain laws passed in the state of Michigan, right? So, I want y'all to go watch the movie because I don't want to give it up. Y'all check that out, Joy Road. Very, very great film. I gotta watch it again. Matter of fact, after I go ship off some of these orders, I'm going to go home and I'm watching the flick again now. You heard me say orders. Make sure you check us out at the Moore's Marketplace and more. Link is in the description. We sell t-shirts, we sell books, we sell digital programs, we sell programs that teach you how to make money online. Just check us out, the Moore's Marketplace and more. Link will be in the description. But I'm going to go watch the movie again. But what we need to pay attention to and what we need to comprehend, y'all, and it's so great that this movie put this message out here, is that these corporations are literally doing this type of stuff. These corporations literally have interest. They literally are increasing crimes and having certain crimes committed in the inner city and the so-called ghetto parts of our communities, and for the interest of them, for their benefit, these corporations. That's what we got going on. A lot of stuff that's going on in our communities that are not beneficial to us but are beneficial to corporations is initiated by corporations, but they have certain conduits operating and communicating with certain portions of us in the community that's just trying to get a dollar and it's like, fuck everybody else. And that's how it's going on. That's how they're operating. That's how they're operating. So just like they know how to use shell corporations, they know how to use shell people to interact with the flesh and blood people in the so-called ghetto community, so they can fork out, hey, we give you $10,000. We need you to go kill these people. We need you to frame Ray Ray. And this is how they end up framing Trick. So they went and committed a robbery and a murder, right? And they ended up taking the barrel from that gun and putting it into another gun that they knew Trick had his hands on at one point in time, fingerprints. So they switched the barrels out in order to make it look like the gun that was used was the gun that Trick had. So it was two like total different guns. But even still, the whole point is we need to watch out. We need to pay attention to these corporations. It is these corporations. Why do you think they had a show for a minute that was called The Corporation or Incorporation, and they only had one season of it? Why do you think they had that? It's because these corporations are ruling the world. These corporations are so powerful that they are controlling what's going on in the so-called ghetto communities, the so-called black communities, the so-called Hispanic communities. They are controlling the crime. It's crazy. Think about it. So I remember one time, you know, because I'm from the Ohio Republic, right? And we have a city, Lorain, the Lorain territory, where the municipal corporation city of Lorain does business at. And all of a sudden, one time, you know, I'm a teenager while I'm growing up, all of a sudden it's like their crime rate just starts to spike out of nowhere. I mean, seriously, just starts to spike out of nowhere. Just heinous, ridiculous, stupid crimes that make no sense whatsoever. They make no sense whatsoever at all. These crazy, ridiculous, heinous crimes that people are committing against each other, people that know each other, right? And at this time, this is where I'm going through my awakening. You know, I've always been into books and all types of different knowledge. So I'm 16, 17, and I'm kind of open to certain stuff. So I'm like,